Well, a very good evening once again. My name is Elijah Turyagumanawe, and I do welcome you to Select News tonight. Well, we have a lot in stock for you, and I'll be joined by my usual partner in crime.
Well, my name is Latifa, Hamid, and once again, welcome to the bulletin. Well, today we have a lot for you in stock, but first, let's look at the headlines and we'll be right back.
In the headlines tonight, city authority to spend $1.9 billion on revamping Kampala. The government to partner with UN on achieving sustainable development goals. And NSSF to pay 1.1 trillion shillings to members as contributions grow by 5% during lockdown. And in sports, FIFA sets debt for Uganda Premier League.
Now we shall right away be moving on into the details of tonight's Select News. Now, today the Uganda government has, in partnership with the United Nations, this morning launched activities that will help highlight the progress that has been made in the bid to achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs.
The month-long awareness campaigns are in line with the 75th anniversary celebrations of the United Nations, which will take place this year.
We'll take a look.
As the United Nations prepares to mark its 75th anniversary under the theme, "The Future We Want, the United Nations We Need," reaffirming our collective commitment to multilateralism, the commemoration of the UN Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) is key.
We are particularly delighted that this celebration happens as Uganda also celebrates 58 years both of independence as well as its membership of the United Nations, which was just presented by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Now, the United Nations is partnering with the government of Uganda to launch the SDG Awareness Month to highlight what is being done to develop the world. While speaking to journalists at the Uganda Media Center, the Minister in charge of General Duties, Mary Okurut, revealed that Uganda has done a remarkably good job in the implementation of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, although the country still faces challenges.
And the score shows that Uganda is more than 50% of the way towards achieving the SDGs by 2030. But we have some challenges, we have gaps.
The minister also says that COVID-19 pandemic also affected the progress of the country on many of the SDGs.
We all noted that during the COVID-19 pandemic, this period, the violence went up, domestic violence went up. Now, this one we don't have to record. But especially men, there are many men who took the Tonse Mberera message to another level. That's where it all begins, the domestic violence.
Resident coordinator of the United Nations, Rosa Malango, congratulated Uganda for its concerted effort in averting the COVID-19 pandemic.
A time when Uganda stands out as the second youngest nation in the world, we look forward to reinforcing our partnership with the Ugandan youth to achieve shared prosperity for all while protecting the planet and contributing to peace and security.
According to the UN, a number of activities have been lined up in the month of October to commemorate the SDG Awareness Month. Shamira Nagawa, Edith Nabagerka, STV Select News.
Well, welcome back from that report. As we move forward, KCCA has today launched a strategic plan for 2020-2025.
Now, Kampala Capital City Authority is to invest $1.9 billion into city transformation. Well, this money will go down into revamping the city, looking at streets, the drainage system, among others.
Kampala Capital City Authority KCCA this morning unveiled its strategic plan for the year 2020-2025, where it revealed that it will be making significant strides in the path of development and transforming the capital city. The event today was attended by several government officials led by Prime Minister Dr. Uganda, the Minister of Kampala, Betty Amongi, and KCCA officials. While addressing the people in the attendance, the Prime Minister urged Ugandans to work together with KCCA in order to help transform Kampala City into a state-of-the-art city.
I'm delighted to join you at the official launch of the Kampala Capital City Strategic Plan for the period 2020-2025. That level of consultation, I am positive that the plan will play an important role in embracing Kampala in all its diversity.
Uganda further revealed that government will continue investing in the authorities' strategies to ensure that their goals are achieved.
I'm glad to note that the Kampala Strategic Plan has been aligned to the national development plans, including Vision 2040 is an ambitious plan, and the government of Uganda is committed to ensuring that you deliver on that goal.
KCCA Executive Director Dorothy Chisaka explained that the strategic plan that has been launched today has 4 pillars, which will be the center of focus.
Entegeka eno genda kubeera roadmap nga kwe tutambulira okukola emirimu gya KCCA ng'erimu themes, erimu pillars, erimu ensonga ssemasonga 4. Esooka egamba ntukulankulane economic growth, tukolewo embeera mu Kampala esobozesa abantu bonna okuba nti bafuna essente, tufune economic growth. Eyokubiri, KCCA governance ne citizen engagement, nga kitegeeza nti tukolagana n'abantu mu ngeri gye tukolamu emirimu gyaffe nga KCCA, tubeere n'okwebuuzangako n'abantu n'okunyumya nabo, tufune ebirowoozo ebiva mu bo nga bye tuba tussa mu nkola.
Chisaka states that they only managed to accomplish 30% from the former strategic plan.
Myaka 5 twetaaga $1.9 million, $1,900 million. Gambibwa nti a plan works if you work the plan. Plan zo zibeerawo bulijjo nga kigendererwa yagala okole 100%, naye olumu olemerera okukola 100%. Kati mu plan eno eweddeko ebintu ebisinga obungi twabikwatako naye nga tebyaggwawo, naye kyetukoze obulungi nti tubisitudde ate ne tubiyongera mu plan eno empya. Tebyaggwa byonna naye nga tubiyongedde mu plan eno.
Betty Amongi, the Minister of Kampala, applauded Kampala Capital City Authority for the work they have done in developing the city.
Those who have been in the forefront of developing it, consulting and financing it, I want to thank you for the hard work and the delivery of the strategic plan.
Nakandi Sarah, Ace TV, Select News.
Well, I welcome you back from that report. Now, moving on, the Unwanted Witness, a civil society organization amplifying voices of the voiceless, want the courts of law to pronounce themselves on a petition that was filed before them challenging the Uganda Communications Commission's regulations on social media and publishers.
Now, the NGO wants the court to make this ruling before the election process sweeps the nation.
On the 7th of this month, the Uganda Communications Commission released a directive aimed at regulating online publishers and bloggers, setting the 5th of October 2020 as the deadline for applications from online users and broadcast services. However, Unwanted Witness, a service society organization aimed at responding to the gap in effective communication using various online expression platforms, filed a petition before the Constitutional Court requesting for interim injunction, restraining the Uganda Communications Commission from proceeding with the directives.
This application can't be heard if the court is not fully constituted, so that bench has to be fully constituted. So we are asking the DCJ specifically not to be on the wrong side of history, not to be on the wrong side of the oppressors. But we know very well that This might go on, and fifth will come by, and the Constitutional Court is not convened. So therefore, our next step will be to apply to court.
Alan Chigozi Sempala, the head of legal department at Unwanted Organization, while speaking to journalists in press conference in Kampala, explains what prompted them to go to court. Unwanted Witness now wants the courts of law to listen to their case before going for the country's general elections, so that the participating candidates are not interrupted by the laws governing social media.
They are going to be digital. So if you have elections being digital, and then the digital platforms are treated the way they are going to be treated with this directive, then our electoral process is going to be tested. It's going to be elusive. There won't be any democratic way. People will be denied their right to hear from their candidates if their candidates are put on stringent measures like these ones. So therefore, we request the Constitutional Court to expeditiously convene the bench, hear these applications, and we have justice prevail.
Dorothy Mukasa, the executive director of Unwanted Witness, revealed that there are laws UCC has to follow before passing the directives on freedom of speech and social media.
Expeditiously intervene and prevail over UCC's impunitive tendencies of undermining the rule of law. UCC has over the time, because it's the alpha and omega in the regulation of communication in this country, so they have over the time abused their powers, and this is also one sort of abuse. So they've always come out to abuse their powers. Section 60 of the UCC Act calls for the institution of establishment of a tribunal.
Adiat Nambaja, Ramla Katumba, STV Select News.
Thank you, Ramla Katumba, for that elaborate report. Moving forward, Uganda joins the rest of the world today in commemorating the World Heart Day amidst COVID-19 pandemic, making it worthy a day to celebrate.
In May 2012, world leaders committed to reducing global mortality from non-communicable diseases to 25% by 2025. Since then, 29th of September has been set and dedicated to celebrate this day by raising awareness of cardiovascular diseases. We'll take a look.
But that takeaway is kill me quick. Kill me what? Quick.
The World Health Organization and the World Heart Federation selected the last week of September, that usually ends on 29th, for celebration of the World Heart Day. The World Heart Day marks the climax of the week's events. Uganda, through Uganda Heart Institute, joined the world to celebrate it by bringing together all stakeholders in the fight against heart disease.
This is the climax of the events of the week. The World Health Organization, together with the World Heart Federation, put aside the last week of September, which usually climaxes on the 29th.
Speculations are that by 2030, if nothing is done, over 23 million people per year will die from cardiovascular disease.
And as of today, we are delivering about 1.6 to 1.7 million babies. That is what is responsible for our annual population growth rate of 3.3 in a population of 40 million. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of us has a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is already a quarter of the adult working population already at risk. This is bigger than even the incidence of HIV at its highest. So when we come to demanding for response, it is at that magnitude of what we gave to the AIDS pandemic in this world.
Dr. Johnny Omagino, the executive director of Uganda Heart Institute, reported that heart disease is caused by bad eating habits and poor lifestyle, which is easily preventable.
Lifestyle changes in adults. People have moved from doing a lot of exercise to sedentary life. Whoever is successful reverses in the different direction and just starts sitting instead of working and active. So the issue is modern life is being characterized by higher intake of food, whether it is calorific or otherwise, without a commensurate side of exercise to ban it. The processed foods, the amount of sugar in the amount of salt in sausages is about 4 times what is recommended for you to eat.
Dr. James Magara, the board chairman, Uganda Heart Institute, explained that being the only heart institute in the country, the number of cases reported high, yet their capacity to handle these cases are limited.
Welcome support from all teams and all institutions and all groups who have similar tasks, similar activities, whether at the university level, whether at all those groups, research level, for both training, research, development of training curricula, participating in these local and multi-centered studies.
In establishing a joint fight against the cardiovascular disease, the Minister of Health, Dr. Ruth Acheng, said that the Ministry of Health is working closely with the Uganda Heart Institute in partnership with Prudential Uganda and the other stakeholders in driving the cause towards ensuring a healthy heart through the role of policy guidance. Maria Dana Namido, STV Select News.
Well, we have been urged to eat healthy, not to drink excessively, do not smoke, and make sure that you exercise in order to keep away from hypertension.
Absolutely. Now, moving on from that report, we shall go for a short break, and we'll definitely come back with more. Keep it Select News. It's called nominations. Well, I welcome you back from that break. Now, moving on, we shall have giving you more details concerning nominations. Now, the incumbent Kampala Central Mayor, that's Charles Seru Njoji Mosoke, has today been nominated along with others at the District Electoral Commission.
Charles emphasized the need for all political party players to comply with the Ministry of Health guidelines against COVID-19 ahead of the general elections that are anticipated scientifically.
Now, Hasif Sechiunga has more to that report.
We are going to be functional. So one of the reasons that has brought me back is to ensure that I implement the law in terms of development, especially the law that I've participated in lobbying government to change. And in that law, we've been given a lot of functions of garbage management, functions of construction of especially secondary drainages, functions of ensuring that we create programs and opportunities for young people and women to be able to get what to do for their living. We have the challenge of COVID-19. And the Ministry of Health has given us guidelines to follow. It takes an intelligent person to respect the guidelines because, and I'm intelligent in that matter, because we need to safeguard ourselves. We need to promote health. Health is a right for all. So abrogating those laws will mean promoting ill health. I, as the mayor of Kampala Central and a leader, I don't want to promote ill health for the people of Kampala for the sake of me looking for votes. So I'm going to respect that law. I will not make rallies, but I will try to make small town hall meetings, and I will go to the people, of course, with a mask, with my mask and everything, to ensure that I look for the vote. On top of that, of course, I will use all the scientific options to ensure that I look for my vote.
My name is Naiga Shamim, and I'm aspiring to be a woman councillor at Chisenyi 3. My aim is to work upon those ladies, single mothers, plus their children who are suffering within Kampala because of the poor governance we think, or I think, is within the city.
Ongoing nominations, petitions, and chaos. We hope that they will be following the SOPs that have been put in place. Moving forward, today is the International Day of Food Loss and Waste, a day the Food and Agricultural Organization commemorates each day. Now, the UN has tried to promote the one thing we can't live without, which is food.
Well, I don't know why food security is taken lightly in Uganda particularly, but today we have created this insight for viewers to take a look at how important food security is and critical for their life, because everyone needs food. And we'll take a look at this report and we shall be coming back with more.
The world today has celebrated the first ever observance of the International Day of Awareness of Food Loss and Waste at a time when the whole world is facing the global COVID-19 pandemic, bringing on the need to transform and rebalance the way food is being produced and consumed. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, reducing food losses is essential in a world where the number of people affected by hunger has been slowly on the rise since 2014, and tons of edible food are lost and wasted every day. The organization also highlights that food loss and waste also puts unnecessary pressure on natural resource base and on the environment, depleting the natural resource base and generating greenhouse gases. With the aim of stopping food loss and waste for the people and for the planet, we should know that globally, around 14% of food produced is lost between harvest and retail. Significant quantities are also wasted in retail and at the consumption level.
Well, we're coming back from that report. Well, a huge percentage of not only young people but also old people remain malnourished or getting less of what they're supposed to be getting when we look at nutrition and the food that they do eat on a daily, which is a very huge predicament, not only to health but also performance. Latifa, don't you think so that this gap, Uganda being a basket of food and predicted that Uganda, if well utilized, can produce food for the entire continent.
Well,
which areas do you think we need to up our game?
Well, where we are right now, Elijah, there's a lot that is happening apart from the fact that we need to front agriculture, and part of it is the fact that COVID-19 has come and it is teaching us as a nation to save and live by the little that we have, and hopefully this lesson will continue until after the COVID-19 situation. Now let's go for a break and we'll be back with business.
Well, I welcome you to our business segment. Now, the business segment does cast an eye to what interests the moneymakers in the country, but also beyond, regionally, continental, and also worldwide. Now, moving on, 1.14 trillion is up for NSSF members' payment. The announcement was after yesterday's pronouncement of the Provident annual interest rate standing at 10.75% for financial year 2019-2020.
NSSF's Richard Turyagumanawe noted that member contribution has grown by 5%, according to NSSF stats, attributing the marginal growth to amnesty NSSF extended to businesses hit by the pandemic.
Now, member contribution rose from 1.22 trillion to 1.28 trillion. We take a look.
NSSF Amendment Bill. I have also noted the Chairman's request to me concerning the NSSF Amendment Bill that is before Parliament. From here, I'm going to see, before even I got Cabinet, I'm going to see the Speaker and we harmonize. There are two issues which are still where we have failed to agree. The first issue is the issue of mid-term withdrawal. Members of the leaders of the members of NSSF are saying somebody should access of 20% of his or her savings after he has completed 10 years of should we call it subscription? Should we call it subscription? Contribution. On the other hand, we are saying, but what is the core reason? What is the purpose of this contribution. What? And the experts gave me an answer, said, it is to cater for somebody once he has retired. I don't know whether I'm right. Are they right, those people? You're right. Yes. The purpose of we putting this arrangement in place and asking employees to kutereka, you know kutereka, to keep, is for you to have something that you can fall back to when you have retired.
Is to ensure that our customer satisfaction goes up to 95%, our fund grows up to 20 trillion shillings, our operational excellence makes sure that we are able to offer a fruitless or frictionless service whereby our benefits will be paid in 1 day and instant statement update, and then a satisfaction level of 95%. Those are our targets for the long term. These numbers are things that we normally talk about, but would like to really cast them out into the public so that everybody knows what sort of numbers we're dealing with. Currently, total employers registered on our register or on our database is 55,000. Of those, we have 1.32 million members who've been registered by these companies. Our member satisfaction level is around 88%, but currently the only members that are active is about 20,000, and we have active membership of about 664,000. The rest of the number.
Well, thank you for compiling that report. Let's go on and look at what is happening in the sports world. Well, welcome back. Moving forward, the Federation of Uganda Football Association, FUFA, has set the date of 17th November 2020 as a kick-off plan of the Uganda Premier League. This report was laid out by the Vice Chairperson of FUFA, Mr. Justus Mugisha. Let's take a look at that report.
The Federation of Uganda Football Association, FUFA, has pushed the kick-off date of the Uganda Premier League season to November. During the 7th annual general meeting of the Uganda Super League Limited at Hotel Ryder in Seta, Vice Chairperson Justus Mugisha confirmed that the kick-off date has been pushed 30 days into November. This comes after the renowned date of 17th October was reversed after the President's speech of reopening sports under strict guidelines and regulations, thus FUFA pushing the date to 17th November 2020. It should be remembered that the defending champion of the Uganda Premier League is Vipers, who won the league prematurely in March after the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Saika Yasin Sekarala, Tini Rukabwe, STV Select Sports News.
Coming back from that report, we absolutely shall be coming to a conclusion of Select News tonight. Latifa, shouldn't we conclude and go on sleep, probably? Well,
I guess so. It's time we do until tomorrow in the morning when we'll be launching.
But before we close, what stood up for you in Select News?
Let's see. The food reservation is what stood up for me.
Food. I'm a passionate Kampala dweller, so the KCCA story and their strategic plan, a 5-year strategic plan, that really did stand out for you. I want to stay in Kampala. I want my kids to stay in Kampala their entire life, nowhere else.
Well, as they're staying in Kampala, we also need to confirm that agriculture is still continuing and food safety is considered. So that's important.
I love the way you love planning for the future, Latifa. Well, it's a good night from us, the entire crew of NSTV, and the entire crew behind the scenes that has created and delivered to you Select News tonight. My name is Elijah Turyagumanawe, and it's a good night from us.
And mine is Latifa, Hamid. Take care.